The slide deck is available on the chat already, and we will be recording the session. After the session as well, the session should be about 30 to 35 minutes, or maybe a little bit longer, 40 minutes. After the session, we are available to take questions as well. Okay, and we can help you out if you do have questions there. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is land acknowledgement. We acknowledge we are hosted on the lands of the Mississaugas, of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Wendat. We also recognize the enduring presence of all First Nations, the Métis, and the Inuit people. Okay, so in our session, we're going to cover a few things. Today, we're going to try to learn about the wide range of licensed and curated streaming video content available to TDSB educators and students. Okay, we're going to try and understand how to effectively search our catalog and use the video features within Learn 360, Curio, and NFB. And we're also going to try and cover a little bit more of a couple of the other distributors as well, so the other databases. From the point of learning, we're going to say, how do we access and navigate the catalog and the different databases? How do we share videos and create playlists of different videos and segments of different videos? And how do we share those playlists and segments as well? Okay, so for our content, we have a lot of licensed content that we purchase at the TDSB and that we get that is purchased through the ministry. A lot of the content is with some of these databases that you see here, the icons, the Learn 360, McNabb, McIntyre, NFB, Curio, and then we also have other databases that are freely available on the web, TVO and Idello. And right now, given what's going on with the pandemic, etc., we have a couple of trial resources that are available and open for a period of time. Okay, so this will be open and you can share it, and I'm going to show you some of this right now. You can share it with your students, but we have to remember that the trial resources will always not be open. So the main thing is, when we are sharing these resources, we have to make sure we share the username and password as well. Okay, I'm just going to exit this, and we're going to go to the live web. So the main part of the session is using the virtual library page. So I'm going to move this down so everybody can see it. So that's our virtual library address, tdsb.on.ca library. It's as simple as you can go into Google, search TDSB virtual library. That comes up here. And it's the first tab, okay? And that will open up TDSB virtual library. Okay, so on the TDSB virtual library, there's a few things that you want to pay attention to. The Read, Watch, Learn is where our educators and students go. So I'm going to select Read, Watch, Learn right now. Okay, and you see all our resources that are available here. So under Read, we have all our electronic digital books that are available to read, with Read Aloud as well. And then under Learn, we have our resources available for K-12 and 7-12 for learning. And down here as well. Then Watch and Listen, all our video content that's available. And as I was talking about earlier, the trial resources that are available for students right now. And then the Toronto Public Library and Make and Do. Okay, so that's for our students and for educators for Read, Watch, Learn. Under the Educator tab on the virtual library, so Educator tab, we're going to select that. And here's a wide range and list of resources as well as websites that are available for you to go to with lots of different teaching strategies and content available within each one of them. Okay, so these are TDSB educator resources that you can go into, as well as current event resources, important educator resources, and then once again, our trial resources that are available during this period of time. Okay, and then if you remember, this is basically what the slide was showing you, all the different types of resources and all the different types of content that's available. And it's all available, once again, on the virtual library. Under Educator would be the place I would start, and a long list of resources. Okay, sorry, if you just give me a second, I'm going to repost. Yeah, okay, I'm just keeping an eye on the chat as well, so you'll have to give me a second there. Okay, so once we finish with Educator, we're always going back to the TDSB virtual library page. And for this presentation, I'm going to be showing you the TDSB catalog, which is this icon right here. The purple search is a TDSB search catalog. If you open the catalog, it'll open up to this page. So you select catalog and it'll open up to this page. Okay, so when the catalog opens up, you're going to see the first thing you need to do is log in. Okay, so I'm going to log in. Okay, so when you log in, it'll show you your name and it'll show you your library that you're signed into. So for me, it shows me teaching resources. For a majority of you, it'll show you your individual school, which if you use the tab to go down, you'll see all our 600 schools. For the purpose of this presentation, I would ask everybody to select, when you log in, select teaching resources as your school, and you'll be able to follow along with the presentation. So now that we're all outside our network and at home, you'll have to sign in and hit that login button. If you're in your school and you're working within the TDSB network, it'll automatically log you in when you select Search Catalog from the virtual library page. Okay, so that's just in case you see a difference between signing in at home and signing in from school. Okay, so with the teaching resources page, once again, remember you're selecting the right library, teaching resources. Your library will pop up when you sign in automatically. For this demonstration, I'm going to use, as a way to search, I'm going to use relevance. You can search via keyword, title, author, subject, curriculum. There's multiple ways you can do your searches. I'm going to use relevance, and I'm going to select climate change as the title. Okay, so I type in climate change, I select search. Okay, and I get 735 results. All right, when I hit that search. So the things I want to be aware of now. So when I'm searching in the catalog, this left-hand refined search bar is probably the most important things you'll use to do an effective search. Okay, so I did my search for climate change. It gave me 735 results. I can use the plus sign here to show me more results as far as the different formats that are available. If I was in my school and I wanted to book physical resources, I could select DVD. and then it would I would refine it and would bring up DVDs, and I would be able to book my DVD to have the physical items sent out to my school. But in the case of this, I'm just going to select streaming resources for the case of this presentation, and I would hit the refine bar. Okay, so that refine tab will just bring up only streaming resources. Okay, so if you can see here, now just streaming media, it took my 700 and something results to 217. Okay, so with the refine bar as well, there's other areas that you could refine your search by to narrow down your search. So you could refine by publication date, by language, by different databases itself, subject area, which if you hit the plus sign here, it opens up every subject area but from A to Z, so that is a lot. So that's another way to search by. And also the one that a majority of educators use, depending on your grade level and what you're teaching and your students, you want to look at target audience as well. Okay, but one thing you have to remember, for each area that you're searching, you need to select and you need to refine. You cannot select in multiple tabs and refine. You need to select in each individual tab and refine. So in this case, I'm going to also refine by intermediate. And it has taken my results from 200 and something to 113. Okay. All right, so a couple of quick features that I'm just going to show you. So if I'm going through streaming content in this area, and I preview some of this content, and previewing this content or watching the content is as simple as click here to watch the video. It'll open up a separate tab, and I would be able to watch the video. If I select play, I'm just going to go back. So I watched the video. I really like any of these videos. And I know I'm going to use this in my classroom this year, and I know I may want to use it again in my classroom next year. So the add to favorites tab out here is probably very important if you're going to reuse content and you think it can be used year after year. So I want to add, in this case, say this title to my favorites. I'll select add to favorites. It'll pop up. If you've not created any favorites before, you can create a new favorite category. In this case, I'm searching climate change. I have my category there already that I've created, and I want to add that title. I add that title. Okay, so I want to add to favorites. Where do I find it? Once I've added it, I go to my account, I go to my favorites. Okay, and if you can see all my different categories out here that I can reuse year after year, and climate change was where I just added. Okay, so favorites is something that you can use and reuse year after year, find great content, and add it to your favorites within the catalog itself. Okay, before I hand this over to Carol to continue with going into the databases, from the whole session, if there's one thing that you really take away and pay attention to, it would be this. I would say preview, preview, preview. Okay, all the content. We purchase a lot of content as the TDSB. We provide that content from start to finish for your students. And we have a wide variety of great licensed content. Okay, that can be used across many grades and many different educators and in many different classrooms. Make sure the content is right for you and it's right for your classroom and your students. Okay, that's really important. Also, using the catalog, once again, use your catalog as your main search area. Okay, When you're using your catalog, you can search multiple databases, use their features. And when I was talking about databases, I'm talking about, where are we here? All the different ones here: Learn 360, NFB, Curio, McNabb. So use those databases to search, but always come back to the catalog. Okay, you want to come back to the catalog. You want to add to your favorites and use your catalog as your main starting point and ending point, so that we have all our content that's collated in one area, and you can use that to go to all these different places to watch and share content. Okay, at this point, I'm going to hand over to Carol, and she will take over the presentation and continue presenting.
All right, good morning. Can you hear me, Ryan?
Yep, loud and clear.
Okay, good. So in that section, we are going to access different videos from the catalog to their respective platform, and then get an overview of the video page so that you can navigate these platforms more easily, see what features they offer, and also how to share each videos to your learning space, whether Google Classroom, Brightspace, and Google Sites, and so on. So in my first example, I will access a video from the Learn 360 platform. So the Learn 360 platform is a database that is licensed by the Ministry of Education through OSAPAC. So it offers a wide range of educational content, but just a note, there's not that much Canadian content. Most of the content come from the US, a bit also from Australia, and a bit from Great Britain. There is some Canadian content, mostly from TVO from the early 2010s. So you will find great like generic content in math, science, health, guidance, English, but not as much content if you are looking to study more social studies and things like that. So I arrive on my screen. Depending on your login, you may actually get a form asking you to enter your identifiers. So in the case of Learn 360, there is Learnmark IDs. So the student IDs and password are LM, ELEM for ID, and ELEM for passwords. So you can use that ID for yourself, so long as you don't plan to use the advanced feature. It will work too. So once I land to the video page, you will see a video player on the left, and on the right, a panel with a list of segments for the longest videos. So one of the great tools offered by Learn 360 is those ready-made segments which allow you to share, to view and share shorter segments if you find the video in itself is too long. So basically, you click on each of the segments, and you will see the same page appear with the same feature, but when you share, you will only share the shorter segment. So basically, on Learn 360, I will show you 3 ways to share. If you've previewed the video, it's great. It's a great content to share with your classroom, you think. So below the video, you will see the share button. With the share button, you have embed link, which allows you to share the links or embed code in a Google Sites, for example. But you also have a Google Classroom share feature, where you can click on Google Classroom, and then you can share your class and immediately share it, create an assignment and share it. There is another possibility, which is the download feature. Usually it's more used in a classroom context where you don't have enough network and you want to make sure the video will show smoothly. So you can download it to your computer. In that case, for example, if you only want to share a short video, you also have the possibility to download the video to your computer and then upload it to your Google Drive and then share it from your Google Drive. And in that case, you will only share the video and not the whole page in the platform. So in case, so you have a lot of segments you can choose from, but in some situations, you may find that the segments offered are not what you want. You would like to combine two segments together. In that case, you have the possibility to create your own segments using the segment feature below the video. So in that case, if you are logged in with the student account, you will be asked to create your own teacher's account in case you don't have one. So I have one myself, so I will log in. And then I will see below the video, I have a set of tools that appear to allow me to create a segment. So basically, you can navigate through the video using the slider to pick a start time. So I have a start time. I click on set start time. And then I go further until the end of the segment I want. I click set end time. Below that, I have a feature to create a thumbnail for my video. So I can go elsewhere also. It will take a screenshot of that precise moment, and which will be the thumbnails of the video you share. Like set thumbnail. I pick a title and I create my segment. Once my segment is created, the next question is, how do I retrieve it to share it? So if you go back up in the right panel, you will see there is a new tab appearing on the right of the pre-made segments, which is called custom segments. So if you click on it, you will see that the segment you created is showing up in a list. And then if you click on that segment, oh, sorry, later error, I'm coming back. If I click on that segment, so I get that segment with exactly the same feature, and now you can create your, you can share that specific segment using the share features that I presented just before. So, and now each time you are logged in, if you get back to that video, you will always see the two tabs appearing in the right panel, allowing you to retrieve those custom segments for future sessions. So now, if you are interested to explore the platform a bit more, the main search feature on Learn 360 is a Google type search box. So you can type your search, submit your query, but you will see that with that kind of search, you get lots of results. Like here I have like 1,500 results, and then you can refine your search using the different filters, like grade, subject, date. You can pick up more recent content and things like that, but it's still a matter of shrinking your pool of results down, and that can take a long time and not always be satisfying. But Learn 360 also offers you additional search features that can allow you to retrieve more relevant content for your teaching more quickly. So for example, there is search by subject feature. When you go to the top left corner, if you click Browse Videos, then you will see a feature called Browse Subject. And if you click on this page, you will see all the content is organized by broad categories. And you can look and find the subject you are teaching. Let's say I want to see what the collection look like in the field of engineering. So I get the results page with 500 results, some filters, and you will see that in the first filter drop down, there is actually a subtopic category that allows you to refine your search by subjects. So let's say I want to see computer science. I click computer science, apply, and then I have five results. So it's a way to refine your search more quickly than using the keyword search. And another search feature that can be interesting for you is Browse Standards search, which you can find on the right of the search box at the top. When you click on that feature, you have a drop-down menu where you can look for on the Ontario curriculum, and then pick the subject you are teaching. Let's say I'm looking for materials in science grade 4. I click View Standards, and I will see the curriculum broken down in its different pieces. So, for example, and you see that ahead of each of the different chapters, there is a clickable link, which will give me access to content relating that part of the curriculum. So some of these tools are really well done for some curriculum. Some curriculum categories are sometimes a bit emptier. It's really up to you to navigate and try to see if that can be a good option for your classroom or not. So it's taking a little bit of time, so I'm not sure if we're gonna wait for it this time, but it's a great way for you to try to have access to the content. So yeah, so you will see it's a way for you to narrow down your search. So that's it for the first overview of the Learn 360 platform. So now we are going to move to another platform, which is the National Film Board of Canada. So I'm back to the catalog so that you get an idea of what you see when I actually click on watch video. So I have found my title. I'm looking to watch the Chinese violin. I click here to watch. So the first thing getting on the platform is to log in. So for those of you who don't have a teacher's account yet, all the details to create your account are written down in the accompanying slide deck. So yeah, being logged in is the only way to have access to the educational content, which appears at the bottom of the video for most of the content to be used for educational purpose. And having an account is the only way also to be able to share your content with your students. So the NFB database holds a large cinematographic production by film directors on subjects of major importance these days about sustainability, inclusion, equity, indigenous affairs. It reflects a lot of different voices, but sometimes it's also content that may not always be appropriate for the age or for the classroom you are teaching. So it's really important that you preview the video and make sure that it's that it match the content that you're trying to teach. So you will see in some videos, there may still be a buy button because the platform is also available to the general public. But as a teacher, once you are logged in, you need to completely disregard that button. You can click and the video will play. You don't have to buy. So the thing to share content on the NFB platform is to include that content in a playlist. And how to do that, below the video, you will see two buttons, a plus and a scissors. And the plus button will allow you either to create a playlist or to add the video in an existing one. So I will create a new playlist, and you can create playlists with several items or just one item. In that case, I just want to share that content with my classroom. So I will create a Chinese violin playlist. And now it says the film was successfully added to the playlist. And how can you get the playlist? It's on the left column, on the left menu. Below your name, you have a playlist section. If I click there, I can access all my playlists, including the one I've just created. If I get there, in the top right corner, you will see different buttons, including the share this playlist, which will give you either the URL you can include in your assignments or the button, the feature to embed it directly to your classroom. So if I get back to the video, if the video is too long, you can also create segments like we did on Learn 360 using the scissors button. And you will see it's really similar to the one on Learn 360. So basically, you move the slide to determine a start time. Oh. Okay, I don't know if it's different because I'm in the playlist, because I should be able to press the button. Let me get back to the video. Create segments. Okay. I don't know. It's not, doesn't seem to be working as usual. But In the worst case, if there's no button, you can enter your start and end time and save it. So I click save, and now I have a segment. And under that segment, you also have the plus button, which allows you to add it to a playlist. And in the future, if you want to retrieve those segments or handle them, remove them if you don't need them anymore, you can go to chapters in the left menu, and you will find them again. So on the NFB platforms, I wanted to show you a few additional search features that you will find in the education section. So if I go down here, I have, under the teacher resources, I have educational playlist that allows you to navigate the content, which is already grouped into collection by different subjects. Like if I'm interested in the indigenous voices and reconciliation, I have a series of lists by age or by topics that I can navigate. And there's another feature that allows you to navigate the content by school subject, where you can unfold the different category tree to pick subjects you are interested in. Okay, no subject here. I'm not sure. There seems to be a little bit of hiccup today on the NFB platform, because usually you would have access to some content, and today it's not filling. But I hope you will believe me. So because it's a great way to navigate content.
Oh, Carol, we definitely believe you. We all go through it on a day-to-day basis where we are trying something and it works 100 times. And then that one time when you're presenting, something might go wrong. But what we do is we work through it, and I'm sure we all have to deal with it in the classroom. So yeah, thanks for showing us that things do go wrong on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, sure. So following the NFB, the next platform I want to look with you is Curio. So Curio, all the collection produced by CBC Radio Canada, and has also a little bit of additional content from other producers, which are regrouped in channels. So at this time, most of the Curio platform is in open mode, so that everybody at home can actually have access to the content without logging. But I will show you usually, and when all this is over, everybody will need an account. And for teachers, it's great to have an account to be able to manipulate and share your content with your students. So the first thing I'm going to do is to log in, and all the information to create your account, you can also find it in the accompanying slide deck. So I'm signing in. So I have my video that I can play by clicking the watch button. So all videos on Curio are on a mute mode, so you will have to use the unmute button to actually get the sound. So some of the content will have teacher guides, and the teacher guides are really great, in particular for the News in Review channel, which deals with topics in the current news. So if you want to share and manipulate the video, you will see 3 features under the watch button. There is one which is annotate, which was supposed to be used to make segments, but at this time this feature has not been working, so there's no possibility to make segments of the Curio video at this time. Then there are 2 ways to share the video you like with your students. There is the share feature, which gives you a permalink or an embedding feature. So when you use that share button, you are sharing the whole page. So your students will see exactly what you see here. So the video, but also all the metadata, the teacher guide and things like that. But if you only would like to share the video player, the best way is to add your video to a playlist. For this, I use the Add to Playlist feature. So you can either create a new playlist or use a playlist that you have already existing. So I have added my content. I can close it. And now the question, because it's a bit delicate to find, is where to access my playlist. So in order to do so, you have to go to My Account, which is in the top right corner of the page. And when you click on My Account, on the left column under Profile, you see a playlist feature. And then hidden in a little drop-down menu, you need to click on the 3 hyphens, and then you can select your list. So I have an existing list where I can see the new content I've added. So in that case, I have a subject list with several items that I would like to share. And when you scroll down, you can see a permalink or an embedding code, which allows you to share that playlist. And if you share that permalink rather than that first one that we saw under the share feature, this is how your content is going to be displayed. So basically, you are sharing the video players only without all the surrounding data. So yeah, if you use that link into the Google Classroom, you will be saying the video players, and whatever the content type, the students won't need to have an account with Curio, because basically the login will go through your own login. So it's a playlist you created, and your students are accessing this video from the playlist through your login. So let me go back. So if you are interested by the Curio platform, so you have different search tools. So on the top right, you have a search box, like on other platforms when you can enter your search terms. But the content is also organized into different access points that allows you to explore the different resources through different ways. And all these ways, you can see them in the top navigation bar. So you have content you can access by category, by shows, so the different shows from CBC or Radio Canada that are accessible on Curio. You can look by show. You can look by collections, which are interesting, trendy subjects at the moment. You can see the first one is COVID-19, or channels, which is content produced outside CBC, like BBC channel or the National Geographic channel. So for that content is not accessible right now for people who don't have an account, except if you include it in playlists. So you can, if you want to share that content, you can choose either ask your students to create an account or include that content in a playlist. And you have the news in review also content, which is used a lot in the classroom, but this one is open at the moment. And one last feature I wanted to share with you is under resources, the curricular one that allows you to pick Ontario and to select the course you are teaching to see what content could be potentially interesting for you. Like, for example, Aboriginal people in Canada, grade 10, you will have content specific to that subject. And the last platform, so that's it for Curio. And the last so database I want to show you will be McIntyre content. So we purchase different content, video content from McIntyre, and they host it on their platform, which is not a public platform. And then we get the link to that content that we include in the video record. So if I click here to watch video, I'm led to the McIntyre platforms, but there's no general way to, there's no real homepage for this one. It's just a series of links of the movie that we have purchased, the movie and documentaries we have purchased. So you have to access that content from the catalog. And if you want to have an overview of what we have, you can do an author search and use McIntyre as a keyword, as a terms. So if you find interesting content from McIntyre, you land on this page, and the best way to share the video content is to use the unique URL or the embed video feature to get the code. And you can share that code in your Google Classroom. And from the time you share that link, your students should be able to access to the video without any problem. And if you are interested to get an idea of the McIntyre collections that we hold, you can also use the View All Playlist button on the right, which breaks down our collections by subject. And so the subjects which are the most populated, where we have most content, will be Canadian social studies, math, science, health, and we also purchased recently a new interesting series in career education. So at this time, we also have access to another platform by McIntyre in the time of the school closure, which is called Encore, and which is accessible in the educator section in the virtual library. Some of the content overlaps our collections. There are some that we don't have, but we also have here some content that the Encore collection doesn't offer. So it's up to you to navigate and try to find if there is interesting content for you offered by McIntyre. So that's it for now in the overview of the major platform that we offer. I hope that you are not overwhelmed, because it was a lot of content, and that it will make you want to explore more for you to realize the depth of resource of video content that we are offering. And you may still have a lot of questions as you are trying to explore and to replicate what we just showed. So you are welcome to come to our office hours. So every day this week we have office hours at from 2 to 3 p.m. in the same Google Meet room. So if you have questions that we cannot answer right now, don't hesitate to come.
Carol, are you able to just, yeah, perfect. Go to the
Yeah.
next slide. That's our office hours there.
Yeah.
And can you briefly show, Carol, so the presentation is available, the slides are available for everybody. You can copy and paste, you can share it. We will try to get the video out. It is being recorded. We'll try to get the video out once it's on the website so that everybody can have that available to them. We are doing the session once a week from 10 to, 10 to 11 every Wednesday. We'll get the video out. Carol, can you briefly show, I know there were a couple of questions from everybody of how to
Okay.
get to Macintyre videos. So when you're doing a search in the catalog, how Macintyre videos come up.
So Macintyre's video will come through regular search, for example, and then you can use the author search, the author option in the drop-down menu, and then if you type Macintyre, you will have access to all the whole collection.
So there's two ways to do that search. One was just your normal search where all the titles come up with all the different distributors, and Macintyre will be one of them. And then also, as Carol showed you, you can search via author, and Macintyre is, you type Macintyre in and the whole Macintyre collection will come up. So hopefully that answers everybody's questions as far as Macintyre was concerned.